Attention medical residents who just matched somewhere in Houston, probably the Texas Medical Center, right here in the third largest city in America. This video is going to help you understand what parts of town you can live in to satisfy your 15-minute requirement should you have one. And if you still need to be close to the medical center, but you don't necessarily have to be below 15 minutes, I'm still going to show you some of those outlying neighborhoods as well. And first of all, a huge congratulations to you. I know you have worked and worked and worked just to get to this moment. So, congratulations on getting a match. And if you've never been to Houston, first of all, it's a very large city. We are the third largest city in America now. We joke that Houston is an hour away from Houston. You can look forward to outside of when you're not, when you're not working. We have a lot of sports things. We have the Houston Texans, the Astros, the Houston Rockets, Dynamo, and all of those stadiums are actually pretty close to the Texas Medical Center. We have an amazing restaurant scene. We now have several Michelin stars right here in Houston and a long list of Bib Gourmand restaurants. We have an amazing and vibrant theater district. We have the ballet, we have a couple theaters, and we have several large concert venues. We have also several very nice parks, and I might touch on that on the map as well. But again, big congratulations to you, and I'm going to pop over to the map and just give you a bird's eye view of our city. Welcome, and if you would like me to help you find your house, I would be honored at a chance to earn your business. So far, I have helped 10 medical residents make this move in the last 4 years. So I know what you're going through. I know what your time schedule looks like. I know you have 1 to 2 weekends to shop, negotiate, and inspect. You have to do a lot of things remotely or by video. So I'm very well versed in video showings, remote business, remote closings. We can do it all with my team. So give me a call or send me a message, and I'd love an opportunity to earn your business. So I will see you on the map shortly. Hello, here we are with the power of technology on the map. Sorry, different outfit, different day, same video. Not everything can be done in the same day. So let's go over all of the places you can live within 15 minutes of the medical center. Now, I do this in all of my videos. Let's get our bearings. Again, as I've already said, Houston is very big. We have 2 airports. So when you come into town, you likely will be flying into George Bush. We have interchangeable names for this. We call it Intercontinental, Bush, George Bush, IAH. And this is a United hub. And then this down here is the other airport. This is Hobby. Its abbreviation is HOU, and it is a Southwest hub. So you'll probably fly into one of these airports. Unless you fly private, you'll fly into a small regional airport. So here is Beltway 8. This is a very big outer loop. This is 99. If you stay within the loop, you'll never go out here. So just to get our bearings. So here is downtown. And Houston is different than other large cities that you may have lived in or been to. The majority of activities is not really happening downtown. The majority of activity happens kind of in this part of town. There's some cool, funky places over here and over here. We call this Edo, east of downtown, EADO. But by and large, downtown Houston is not a huge, local Houstonian destination. There are a lot of world headquarters or regional headquarters in the high rises and the skyscrapers downtown, but most of local Houstonian life happens way outside of downtown. The more you know. We'll zoom in here. Now, here is the medical center. It is a very large campus, which if you haven't already been, it's kind of like its own little city. Here is Herman Park. Herman Park also encompasses the zoo as well. And then all of our museum
museums are around here too. Hotel Zaza is really cool too. It's highlighting. So here is our museum district. Here is the zoo. Here is Rice University. A lot of old developments over here. All of these houses were built in the late 20s and 30s, and some in the 40s. And then, of course, there are new construction houses built on top of, or old houses have been demoed and then new houses have been built in their place. So the Med Center is it's its own little part of town. And when you're there, there's like restaurants in the medical center. There's hotels specifically for the Med Center. Now, you are interested in where can you live within 15 minutes of said Med Center. So this is the Astrodome area. Honestly, this is the stadium. So NRG, this is where the Texans play, and the Astrodome is the historical Astrodome. Nothing happens at the Astrodome anymore. It's not condemned, but nobody goes in there. So the rodeo happens at NRG and the Texans play here. See, there you go. This is not somewhere that I'd super recommend to live. It's not what some cities are like living by a stadium is cool. I would not recommend that. If you want to live on the south side over here, then I would find somewhere over here in Braeswood. There are a lot of older homes, mid-century modern, built in the 50s and the 60s over here, or new construction. If you buy something over here, if you buy an original home, you can get one for like $600,000 on the low end. But if you buy new construction, you're looking at well over $1 million. And some of the Southside Place, West University is like $2 million minimum, and Southside Place maybe 1.5, maybe. I'm making this video in spring of 2026, so the pricing is in the millions, definitely over here. Now there are definitely apartments, and there's not a ton of traffic that will prevent you from getting here very quickly. So this general area would be a great place for you to live if it works for your price point. I'm not sure what your price point is. You can live in Montrose, but the only thing that I'm going to say about Montrose is it looks pretty close as the crow flies, but it can get very trafficy over here. I mean, just depending on road closures, a construction, or a wreck, or if like a stoplight is out, if there's like a power outage, this can get extremely congested, almost gridlocked. And so if you live on the other side of 59, I would not go north of like this Kirby Memorial Allen Parkway. I think really, in my honest opinion, I would not live north of this Memorial Drive line. The traffic is just too much. Like, you could live here, but the traffic could really be prohibitive for your 15-minute timeline. Now, you could live in Edo as long as you found a good route that wasn't blocked by a train track, because you could sit. Sometimes in the middle of the night, we have trains that sit at intersections. So it would not be good for you to live on the other side of a railroad track from the Med Center that doesn't have an opportunity to be an over or underpass. Riverside Terrace does have some houses. I mean, of course, there's lots of houses, but it just depends on what you're used to. And you're the only one who can decide where you want to live. So if you're coming down here and I'm the one helping you, we'll drive through this area, or I'll have you drive through this area, or I'll send you what's available at the time, whether you want to purchase or buy. But you will just have to decide. It's kind of like a historic area of town. There's some really beautiful like 1930s houses, 1920s, 1940s, but the pockets are really hit and miss. If you are okay, if you want to buy something and you don't want to spend $1 million, then you should come down here and look in this part of town. And if you look at my other videos, I am a huge fan of this part of town because it's really nice. in that corner of Houston. And the houses are not $1 million. Some of them are not even 500. Some of them are still super cute for 315,000 or 375, 450. You can still get a wonderful home in this area of town. And then you would just hop on Braeswood and then it will just pop you right out here. I have driving tours of Braeswood and Bel Air and Bissonnette. You can go look at the other videos on my channel. There are houses to rent over here, but you may want to consider buying something because it's pretty, I mean, I'm not going to say it's cheap, but it is way more affordable than like Westview or Southside Place. You could live over here, but the problem with living on the other side of 610 is this portion of 610 is always congested. It sometimes is not congested after the morning rush hour and right before the afternoon rush hour and sometimes in the middle of the night, but you can just never tell when it's going to be super congested. I mean, it could be bumper to bumper here at like 10:30 p.m. It just depends on what's going on in town, and it is notoriously a really tough stretch of 610. We call this loop 610. That's kind of dicey. Now, Rice Military, I used to live there for 5 years. I love Rice Military, but remember I told you it would be really tough for you to live above Memorial Drive? Rice Military might be okay for you because you can pop out on Westcott and it'll dump you out in Memorial, and then you can access the south part of town through several other major arteries. But I can tell you that sometimes getting to the med center could be 16 or 17 minutes, or sometimes it could take you 35 or 40 minutes to get here. Definitely at Christmas time, it is very trafficy in the loop, so kind of proceed with caution. Now, Midtown, you could definitely live here. All this section is fine. There's lots to rent over here. It is really block by block as far as quality, so only you are the person that can decide if you are okay with living there. Midtown has a lot of apartments, not a ton of single family homes, but you will have to decide if you're okay with the building. Midtown used to be awesome, maybe in like 2006 to about 2013, but I would call it it's in transition again, and so you'll have to decide if you're okay with being down here. Now, you could live downtown. You could live in a high-rise downtown. You would just need to make sure that your building had valet so they could grab your car really quick, or you have really good accessible parking to meet that 15-minute criteria. Or maybe you don't have to do the 15-minute thing. You just want to be an easy drive to the med center, which if you want to be an easy drive or a reasonable drive to the med center and you don't necessarily have to do the 15-minute time window, then you could definitely do the Heights. The Heights is really nice. I'm sure no matter where you're coming from, I'm sure you'd really like it. It's hard not to love the Heights. There's a lot of, they're mainly bungalows here or new construction homes that have been built on a demoed bungalow. But the original homes are between like 1900 and about 1940, or maybe a little bit before that. Definitely pre-World War II developments over here. Not a ton of developing after World War II. There's mostly post-World War II stuff up here, which would be like Garden Oaks, Oak Forest. Again, this is not terribly far from the med center, but it can get really trafficy really fast. This 25-minute drive from here can turn into an hour very quickly. So just beware. I would not send you over here. You could live in the Villages, maybe. It's very spendy over here. These are like multi-millions over here. If you wanted to be in a suburb, if you really wanted a suburb feel, This is like what old suburbia would have felt like. I still highly recommend this pocket of town. You could live in Pearland down here. It could take you 15 to 20 minutes to get to the med center, but if there is a lane closure or there's a wreck, you may not make it. So if you don't have to do the 15 minutes and you want a suburb feel, then you could look at like Pearland or Shadow Creek Ranch, anywhere kind of in this little pocket over here. Now, Missouri City and Stafford that you're seeing over here, the problem with being down here, it looks close, but it is not. You have to jump on, this is a toll road. So every time you use this road to catch 90, you have to pay for it. And 288 is also a toll. This is not an easy transition right here. I know it looks like it just feeds right in there, but it doesn't. I think you have to like get off, stop at a light, and then merge on. And then there's like lights all up and down this portion of Highway 90. So if you're going to consider Missouri City, I would caution you not to. And I would, again, caution you to be, I would tell you to be right here at Maryland, Willow Meadows, Willow Bend, Maplewood, Westbury. There are 2 HEBs to choose from over here. And if you're not from Texas, HEB will be your favorite grocery store. There's an HEB here and there is an HEB here. We call this little thing here the Bel Air Triangle. Anyway, I really hope that this was helpful in helping you learn the lay of the land. If you are coming here for your residency, again, congratulations. But if you need someone that's a local, I've been living in Houston since 1987. I would love a chance to help you find the place where you're happiest and where it works for your commute over to the medical center. So give me a call, email me, leave comments, like, share, subscribe to this content. It would mean the world to me. And again, my name is Mariam Hejazi. I've been helping people buy and sell residential real estate for 13 years, and I've been loving Houston since 1987. And I shall see you on the next one. And maybe I'll see you in Houston. Bye.